nation's pride, the dirty water of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh, England belongs to me. England belongs to me. A nation's pride, the dirty water of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh, England belongs to me. England belongs to me. A nation's pride, the dirty waters of the rivers. No one can take away her memory. Oh, England belongs to me.
Ooh, well, hello, moon stompers. Hope you're doing fine on this windy, blustery day. A very warm welcome back to this channel. I'm Mrs. Moon Stomper.
And I'm Mr. Moon Stomper. Just a quick question, Mrs. Moon Stomper.
Oh yes, what that be, Mr. Moon Stomper?
It's windy and blustery and rainy where we are.
Yes.
But
I know what you're going to say.
not all
that's-
over the world.
I know.
And this will get a couple of weeks later.
Oh.
So, right, but if you hear background noise, we do apologise. There's a hell of a storm
That's
outside,
it.
and there is nothing we can do because we are not soundproofed, are we?
We ain't. It's blowing a hoolie out there, man.
It certainly
A hell
is,
of a
and
hoolie.
I do apologise for the loss of my voice. It seems as
So
though
not come back altogether.
no, not altogether, and the people at work are immensely glad, and I know you're immensely glad as well. In fact, I was told I sounded like Lego Batman the other day. Not really, just joking. So, Mrs. Moon Stomper,
Yes, Mr. Moon Stomper.
what's this one all about? Well, it's a bit obvious, isn't it, really? It's the bloody thumbnail.
Cock Sparrer.
Cock Sparrer, Cock Sparrer, Cock Sparrer.
Yes.
So, right, this is a band that never quite got the success it deserved.
Oh.
And that's always kind of baffled me as to how, I'm going to say, lesser bands have had more success than bands such as this ilk.
Yes.
Now, in my opinion, this band's absolutely great.
Yes.
And it's got a long and illustrious career, and I would say they're probably one of the longest surviving punk bands in Great Britain. But so what do you know about Cock Sparrer then, Mrs. Moon Stomper?
Mr. Moon Stomper. They were formed as far back as 1972.
They were. Now, they all grew up together, and they were
Yes.
school friends.
That's it, since like the second year of school, first, second year.
Something like that.
Well, in our days, we call it first or second years. When you're 11, yeah, so I think it's year 7 now. They call it year 7.
I don't even know what they call it
Yes,
anymore.
it is. Yes.
I remember second year myself, first or
Yes.
second year or whatever it was. Those were the days.
Yes,
When England
good
was
old
England
days.
and it was all good and, etc, etc, etc.
That's it.
Bit of reminisce in
all
there,
gravy.
and why not? So,
Ah,
that is, to me, it's not unique,
no.
but it's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was your schoolboy band,
That's
and
it.
the whole point of the band was, it was to play in pubs and pick up girls.
That's where they started, didn't they? In a
Yeah,
pub.
of course they did.
Yes.
So it's what I call pub rock.
Pub rock and
Pub rock
not
first
so
and
much
foremost. No, well, punk wasn't even a thing in 1972.
In overseas it was.
Overseas, yeah.
In the USA,
But
yes.
in the
In
UK,
Britain.
no.
No.
We had Boot Boys.
Oh yes.
Now, if you watched our Away Days and Boot Boys and Away Days video, then you'll see all about it.
Yes.
But these, along with bands like Sham 69 and Slade.
You believe it or not many people knew Slade were like skins, well, actual skins.
I did.
I know you
definitely.
did.
Ambrose, Slade and Slade,
Ambrose,
and
yes.
they had like quite a successful career at that. Between, I would say, but this is not about Slade.
No.
But between 72 and sort of 74, they were just riding high, massive success. But
There was.
we could do a video about Slade another day, maybe.
But Cock Sparrer got the influences from the glam rock band. Well, Like bands, like the beat bands, sorry.
They did, such Small Faces.
And the Who, yeah.
Yeah,
Et
absolutely.
cetera.
And those were as well. Plus the Rolling Stones as well.
Oh yeah, don't forget.
Now that's a weird thing, the Rolling Stones, but we'll come on to that later because there's a bit of correlation there. There's something else I wanted to reference about that.
Oh, yes.
So, and in terms of pub rock, bands like Eddie and the Hot Rods, then Dr. Feelgood as well. So it's bands of that ilk. So the music was slower. It was very punchy, very anthemic, it was football lads, weren't it?
Yes, they
Football
were.
lads, singing as many anthems as you could.
I like that Eddie and the Hot Rods. Why don't you ask them or why don't you tell them? That was a bit fast, weren't that?
That was a bit fast, it was a little bit later as well.
Oh, yes.
So, what Cock Sparrer actually did, so originally, Cock Sparrow,
Yes.
from what I'm led to believe, now Cock Sparrow is do you know what that is, what it actually is?
It's a Cockney term for familiarity.
Yeah, it's like
Cockney
it's like a right mate.
Yes.
Or a right me old Cock Sparrer.
Oh yes.
Or right me old Cock Sparrow, but somehow he went to Sparrow.
Yeah,
now,
it's the way they pronounce it.
Of course, now NME pronounced it completely wrong, but enemy, yeah, that they would do because it's just enemy for you. They got it completely wrong when they reviewed the band.
Yeah.
I think they call them the Cockney Sparrows or something like that. It was something ridiculous. But that's enemy for you. That's why I was always a sounds guy. Lovely sounds, but we'll get onto that later. So their typical songs were all about the sort of daily, the daily working class lives of working class people.
Like you ordinary, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ordinary guys, so it's another East End band.
Yes, a true East End.
Absolutely.
Duffer. Oh, Easter. Sorry.
Yeah,
I couldn't resist that.
As if everyone across the globe's going to know what East End is.
Of course they do.
I heard that noise the other day, that duff.
Here we go.
Do you know what it was? I thought EastEnders is on at such a strange time of the day. It was actually Mrs. Moonstomper falling down the stairs, believe it or not. But, it wasn't really. So.
Get off the stage, boo.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so, who was it started by, do you know?
Colin McFall.
Colin McFall.
Yes.
Now, original members as well. So, Mick Bufoy.
Yes.
And
Steve Burgess.
There you go. And who else?
Steve Bruce.
There you go. Not Steve Bruce, the old football manager either.
Oh,
old Trump knows. Nothing to do with him whatsoever. But right, so they played pubs and nightclubs and anything they could do, and they actually supported Slade, believe it or not.
I see.
When not all around the country, but when Slade came to London, if they could get a support gig with Slade, then they would do.
Of course.
So let's fast forward a little bit and go to the mid 1970s. Now, punk was riding high in the United Kingdom, in particular. Bands like the Sex Pistols were they were like the number one punk band.
A bit overrated, weren't they?
Well, I'm gonna put my hand on my heart and say, I think they were. They were of the time, but I genuinely don't think they were as authentic as they wanted to be.
They weren't like the Sham 69 again and Buzzcocks.
Again, because the Sex Pistols were in my mind, they were manufactured by Malcolm McLaren.
Yes, they were.
And it was kind of pre-manufactured music, same as the Monkees.
Yes, would you believe it?
And other bands as well since then. Stock Aitken and Waterman made a fortune out of that, did they not?
They did, certainly did.
But music had got faster, so punk music had got faster. It had got a lot faster. And bootboy music wasn't that fast. The original bootboy music, it was quite it was very punchy. Even,
medium tempo.
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
They picked the speed up quite a bit. Rumour has it, in fact it's not a rumour, they were going to get a deal with Malcolm McLaren. Now, they approached Malcolm McLaren, from what I can gather. Correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect, because we don't always get it right. But they approached Malcolm McLaren at his shop, which was Sex.
Sex with Vivienne Westwood.
Bingo. And he went to watch them, and rumour has it, he didn't sign them for... In fact, scrap that. Rumour has it that Cock Sparrer didn't want Malcolm McLaren to sign them because he wouldn't put his hand in his pocket and buy a round.
Oh, for goodness sake.
But also, they didn't fit with what he wanted as well. So who knows what the truth is there. So in 1977, I think it was 77, they signed to
Decca Records.
They did indeed, as their first sort of major record deal. Which, in all honesty, Decca was quite a big deal at that point in time. Although it was split into loads of little lots of little different labels, but it was still a big label.
Yes.
And their first single was
Running Riot.
Running Riot. Now, that was a commercial flop.
Okay.
It just, for some reason, and I don't know what reason, it just flopped.
Yes, it did.
And I find that, I don't know whether punk was too crowded at that time, or whether Decca didn't promote it properly, or there was probably just a myriad of reasons as to why that didn't do well.
Okay.
So their follow-up to that was...
It's a cover version of the Rolling Stones single, We Love You.
Yeah, now it's right now. That's actually on YouTube, and when you look at that, it's quite. I would say it's really different.
I see.
It's really different. They're dressed quite sort of just differently.
It's ordinary.
It's sort of, I don't know. It's very of the time.
Yes.
Good cover, but I just, for the life of me, as to why you'd want to cover a Rolling Stones single, I don't know.
Maybe they feel they needed to.
But Screwdriver did as well.
Oh yes.
So that, you know,
About the Tumbling Dice.
Yeah, that's another.
Yes.
That's another band.
Yeah.
So you can see, you know,
connection with Rolling Stones.
Yeah, rock and roll's in their vein.
They were actually Mr. Moonstomper. They were actually dropped by Decca Records in 1978.
They were indeed.
Yes.
Now there's probably a couple of reasons for that, and I would say the most plausible excuse I can think of regarding that is by 78, punk had pretty much all but gone.
Yes.
Or punk as we know it. It was still there as a very, very underground, but
not as popular as...
it wasn't as commercial.
Oh, I see.
So, you know, for Decca to sort of put lots of money into that, is it gonna sell? Yes or no? And that would be the most plausible excuse. But that LP's worth of songs, they
did all the album.
Yeah, that was still released by Decca, but it was released in Spain.
In Spain, yes.
Only wasn't released in this country till '87, as I think it was called True Grit when they released it.
Oh yes.
If I remember rightly, which was actually their third LP. Yeah,
yes,
confused you will be. But then they split up after that in '78.
In '78, Gary Lammitt left.
He did. No, he went to. I think he left, citing the reason that he needed to go and earn some money because they weren't earning a penny.
No, he was
they were earning absolutely nothing. So he went off to seek other ventures.
Yes.
And actually earn some money. And the band split up.
Yes. Yes.
And there was like a sort of 3-year absence.
There was.
Until none other than, guess who, Gary Bushell.
Again, the famous Gary Bushell.
Right, so the Oi compilation.
Yes.
They appeared on that.
They did.
And that sort of led to an uprising in popularity.
That's it. They began performing like big time again.
Well, they reformed.
Reformed, yes.
Yeah, and then they started performing. It wasn't big time.
Okay.
It was enough to make some money, if that makes sense.
Yes.
To the point where I think they then signed for, correct me if I'm wrong, and we do get things wrong on Moonstomp Originals, Career Records.
Yes.
Career Records.
Yes.
Career Records also signed a group called Saxon.
Oh, the rock
The
band.
heavy metal band, Saxon.
Heavy metal, yes.
New wave of British heavy metal, and they had quite some success on Career.
Yes.
So it certainly wasn't a small label, but it was a decent label. Right. So I think it was 81, 82 when they reformed.
Yes.
And they came out with a really, really good single.
Okay.
Now, the single was "England Belongs to Me,"
Yes, it was.
but that wasn't on an LP. It was a standalone single.
Did you say something about that song "England Belongs to Me" was supposed to be that "Land of Hope and Glory"?
No,
I wanted
right. It was actually called "London Belongs to Me"
Oh yes.
originally,
Yes.
and it didn't quite fly, according to the I don't know, probably the record company actually.
Yes.
Because if you just go "London Belongs to Me," then it's just very. I don't know if they thought it was inward looking or something.
Oh no.
So "England Belongs to Me," appealed to more people.
Yes.
So that's why they did that. Now the guitar solo for that was supposed to be "Land of Hope and Glory," which is written by a composer called Edward Elgar from Worcestershire.
Yes, he was.
And I think he wrote that while the Malvern Hills was his inspiration for his composing. Ask me how I know that. I just know that because I have a connection to Elgar through where I worked as the first professor of music at a university.
Yes.
Right, so that's how I know that bit about Elgar. But the Elgar family, and I digress there, the Elgar family said, you cannot use that, you've got to redo it. So they went away and they
put their heads together.
they used the same chords.
Okay.
But just in a different sequence, so they kind of got round it by doing that.
Yes.
But that single, at the time, Oi was like quite a thing at the time. Still very underground, but it was it racist? Wasn't it racist? You know,
people just make their minds.
Yeah, of course they do.
Every time.
Of course they do, and it just England Belongs to Me became a bit of an anthem for lots of boneheads who thought it meant just that.
And people are going to think that, aren't they, when they hear that title? They're going to think it's prejudice or racist or something.
They do, and it was nothing of the sort.
And then boneheads, like you said, they're going to use that as
of course they do. Of course
as
they do.
their anthem.
So, take a bit of a break because I need to go and try and loosen me. Yeah, have a cigarette or something like that, as you do.
Drink some olive oil.
Yeah, that's it. Or some sump oil, depending on what I've got available. And have a look at these guys, and we'll be back in a jiffy.
Okay, here we are with Colin from Cock Sparrer, and before starting the interview, I want to tell you that it's a great honor for us to have a legend like you and your band here in Laboratory. It's a very honor for us.
Thank you. We're delighted to be here. It's an honor for us as well.
The full question is, we won't start with this question that is when the Cock Sparrer were born and how. What was the mood in London at that time? Because you started in 1972.
1972, yeah. The music scene was not good. This was 5 years before punk. Lots of pubs with bands playing, but the record charts were shit, they were terrible. Lots of American influence. So we were just friends at school, basically, and we wanted to get in a band so that we could get some girls. And that was the only reason, just the girls.
And you are a teenager.
Yeah, 16.
Okay. So the kind of music that mostly influenced your sound were like punk rock of Slade and Eddie and the Hot Rods, or glam rock of David Bowie, for example.
Yeah, I mean, Slade, Heavy Metal Kids, Small Faces.
Yes.
That was our upbringing.
The British.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so. Some Bowie later on, but it was a bit too glam for us. You know? Yeah, and Eddie and the Hot Rods was later, maybe 76.
Yes.
Yeah.
The punk movement was born in 1976 and 1977.
Yeah.
And you actually wrote a song titled "Spirit of '76."
Yeah.
And the punk movement shocked everybody. The press, the culture, the music, and the people who listen to music. What does the punk mean for you? The punk culture and the punk attitude. What is punk for you and for Cock Sparrer?
Now? Well, then.
Yes, then and now.
I think it gave everybody the opportunity to have a go. So everyone could do what they wanted to do, whether they were any good or not, whether they could sing or not, whether they could play drums or not, it didn't matter. You could just do it and have fun. And for years in the UK and I guess other countries as well, it was you were either a good musician, accomplished musician.
Hi.
Hello, Darren. And if you weren't an accomplished musician, then you didn't get any chance. What punk did was just open that up. Yeah, so everybody then had the opportunity to play, to sing. Pubs and clubs would have punk nights where bands would just play, open mic almost. And to some extent that's continued to today. Today through the internet and through YouTube, anyone can do what they want to do. You don't have to be good, you don't have to have any talent.
So you think that
Which is why we've survived for so long.
so you think that the spirit of '76 is still alive?
Yeah, it's very much alive. It's just about doing what you want to do, and no one telling you can't.
The question is about this sport. You are a supporter of West Ham. Everybody knew, I think.
No. Mickey is Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Darryl. Talk about Darryl because he doesn't really have a football team.
Watford.
Oh, okay.
They're
You
not
know
very
Elton
good.
John?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all great over there.
Yeah. And Steve, our drummer, is a Millwall supporter.
You go to see the club in the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been not every week this year, but probably about 10 times, and I've seen 8 draws.
When you started to go in,
My first West Ham game was in 65.
you were a kid.
I was 9. I was 9 years old, and my father took me and stood me on a beer crate to see the game.
Last question is about the future.
Sorry.
It's, have you, now it's the 40 years of activity of live activity, and you have a future project like new albums or
Yeah, we have no. We talk about these things all the time, but we have no real plans at the moment. We're very much the sort of band that will just listen to what people want to say to us and the offers they want to make us to come and play, and then we will come and do some gigs or whatever. We're not very good at planning the future.
okay.
So for the next 3 months, we know what we're doing. After that, we don't have any idea.
We see.
Yeah. So no plans for an album at this stage. You have to ask Birch because he writes the songs. so when he has the songs, we can have an album. Until then, that's his fault. Ain't their fault. It's your fault.
Thank you very much for
Is that
your
it?
time,
Cool.
and I hope you will have a great night.
Well, listen, just thank you very much for inviting us here. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It's
Thank
going to
you
be a
very
great evening, and we've been looking forward to coming for a long time.
Yeah.
And we're just really pleased to be here now.
Thanks.
Yeah?
Thank you
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Can we have a photo?
Yeah, of course.
Next week, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. Did you enjoy that? Did you, huh?
Hope you did. So, as we were saying before the break, now, this is the band that, well, what you even say about this band? I think they're absolutely marvellous. You know,
I think so.
This is the band that paved the way for groups like Cockney Rejects, UK Subs. There was just a whole myriad of bands off the back of this band and Sham 69.
Similar
yeah.
IP.
Now, it's not that they've had a checkered history, it's just been on and off. And there were, was it I Need a Witness? That single was produced by Joe Strummer, believe it or not.
From The Clash.
From The Clash. And then there was another weird and wonderful thing. I think they actually supported the Small Faces. And Steve Marriott,
the singer for the Small Faces,
the singer and guitarist,
yes,
was actually slotted to have a guitar part in one of their singles, and I can't remember which one it was, and it never happened.
Goodness.
So this band have been exceptionally unlucky.
Oh.
But what didn't help them was when I mentioned Sounds earlier, Sounds magazine. Enemy called them the Cockney Sparrow, or Cockney Sparrow, or whatever it was. Sounds absolutely panned them. They in a review where they said the band look as motley and as uncouth as possible, and for I'll say for a rock mag to actually say they had a better rock band, that's pretty damning. And so stuff like that is unfair press.
Very
it
unfair.
really is, and I'm surprised that actually came from Sounds, but that put the sort of the final. Well, it put the final nail in the coffin.
I see.
Which I think is really unfair. So going back to when they reformed. Now, when they reformed probably off the back of what I would say was Oi. And I would say that was a really good thing to do, because after all, you know, it was bands like that that paved the way for that music. They paved the way for punk, and they paved the way for Oi.
They did.
As well. And we were talking about England Belongs to Me.
We was.
Just before the break. Then they got their first LP, Shock Troops.
That's right, yes.
In 80, I think it was 82 if I remember rightly.
Around about there.
That had got, you got Riot Squad on, if I remember rightly.
Riot Squad.
Take 'Em All.
Take 'Em All.
Now, Take 'Em All, that was a take, pardon the pun, on an actual song, and that song was actually played in America quite a bit, sort of football games, baseball games, etc.
Yes.
And they just adapted it. But I think that song was also, if I remember rightly, I'm sure it was a rugby song over here, if I remember rightly, but it wasn't Take 'Em All, I think it was called Fuck 'Em All, I think, etc. Yeah, so, but we won't go into that, because it's, if I remember rightly, that song was really rude.
Is it controversial, is it?
Not controversial, the rugby songs have always been like that.
I see.
You know, you think football's bad, but rugby songs are really...
You just wouldn't think it, would you?
No, you wouldn't think
for
it.
Rugby.
But, you know, I quite like my rugby, and, you know, I just vividly remember that as a rugby song.
Yes.
But that song was like sort of popular all over the place.
Yes. Wasn't the third LP, Mr. Moonstopper, if I remember, Running Riot, the third album, sorry? Yeah,
it was in 80, I think it was 84 if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think it was 84.
And then the band ceased activity.
I see.
At that point, it's that they didn't split, they just ceased activity.
Yes.
Due to, I don't know, whatever. Then there was a clutch of what I would say other, I wouldn't even call it reforming. They just, I think they picked and chose the gigs.
I think so, yes.
You know, literally with original members rejoining at different points, but with the original band members,
yes.
Still, well, not all the original ones, but with the original band members still there.
That's it. Mick Beaufoy was replaced by Shug O'Neill. by that time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I mean, and then when Gary Lammy left as well, he was replaced as well.
Yes, he was.
But so eventually they did go back into the fold. But in terms of original members, Colin McFall he's been there since 1972.
Goodness me.
Which,
Long-standing.
yeah, exactly. And they had the 50th anniversary recently.
Ooh.
In
2022.
2022.
Yes.
But they appear at different festivals
Yes.
quite often.
Up and down all over the world, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, in this country, then Greece, then Spain, different parts of Europe, etc., etc. And although when you saw in the VT, they've only got sort of 3 months worth of activity in front of them.
I see.
They've just announced another gig.
Wow.
So I think it's in Islington. That's up and coming.
Yes.
So they're still going.
Gosh. Just like the Cockney Rejects.
Well, the Rejects are different, in my opinion.
Like for reforming and getting back together.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the Rejects they never wanted to stop.
I see.
If that makes sense, and they're in terms of tours and gigs,
Yes.
they're a bit more prolific.
They
in fact,
are.
quite a bit more prolific.
Uh-huh.
Whereas, Cock Sparrer aren't so much. They'll pick and choose,
I see.
which is a good position to be in, if you're lucky enough to be in that position. So, have you got anything else?
Mr. Moonstomper there did a Live and Loud album back in '87.
Live and Loud, they did
Live and
indeed.
Loud.
But I think they've done 4 live LPs, if my memory serves me correctly, up to, I'm going to say it was back in San Francisco in, I think that was the late 2000s,
I see.
2008, 2009 or 10, so it was there or thereabouts,
Yeah.
if my memory serves me correctly. My memory's a bit hazy these days, but they're still going.
Brilliant.
They're still going. Having signed to, you've had Captain Oi.
Oh yes.
Captain, what a record label, Captain Oi.
Captain
And
Oi,
Pirates
indeed.
Press, Cherry Red Records. They're on
Cherry
Cherry Red
Red.
Records at the moment.
Yes.
The last LP was 2022.
I think it was around.
Or was it last year? I can't remember now. It escapes me, it really does.
And Blitzcore as well.
Yeah, that
Blitzcore included.
Blitzcore, then obviously before that Razor, Career, and then Decca obviously, but Decca was a flop for some
It was
reason.
short-lived, weren't it, with
Yeah,
Decca?
but they're still doing vinyl.
Wow.
That's the thing.
Good old vinyl.
They're still doing vinyl,
Brilliant.
and if you go look at their website and you look at their online shop, it's an absolute treasure trove. So if you're a collector,
Fantastic.
go and look at it. But the funny thing about that band is they all support different teams. You've got Millwall, Arsenal, and West Ham.
Okay.
I think if I remember rightly, so
What's a mixture?
it is a mixture. So, but I bet there's a bit of banter there.
I think so.
Yeah, although Millwall in a different division, obviously.
Oh, man.
But there's a bit of banter there, which is it's quite
Backs
good.
with the lads.
But it's your local teams again,
Yes.
which is it's good to see.
I always say support your local.
Well, you should do, definitely. So, Mrs. Moonstomper, anything else?
Anything else? Relax, Mr. Moonstomper. Just do it. When you want to stomp to it, relax. Just do it.
Oh my God.
When you want to
almighty.
stomp.
That's just like, yeah, okay, fair enough. How long did it take you to think of that, Mrs. Moonstomper?
A year.
Quite probably.
Just a few minutes.
There you go. Right. I've got nothing else. However, what I need to say is this. Right, we've got some other fantastic bands coming up. We've got loads of Oi bands, some RAC bands, some hardcore bands, etc. and some mainstream stuff as well.
Oh, yes.
But it is competition time, guys.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
if you want to be with the chance of winning a t-shirt, and we're giving 5 t-shirts away, quality t-shirts,
Not to
then
one person, all over.
all you've got to do is you've got to, number one, helps if you subscribe.
It does help,
Number
yes.
2, you've got to send us an email. So on the email, this is what we need to know: where you are in the world, what your name is, and what size t-shirt you need.
Of course.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pick the lucky winners at random
We
at
are.
the end of February, which coincides with our first birthday. And one of the special guests to do that, I think, going to do a
Take the name out of the hat.
at random. That's going to be a big hat because I expect millions of people to.
Whoa.
That's going to be lots of bits of paper, there is lots of writing. That's going to be a late night indeed. However,
Snipping as well.
wherever you are in the world, if your name's pulled out of the hat, you win a t-shirt free of charge, and we'll send it to you free of charge as well.
Oh yes.
And once we've done that, what we'll look at doing is we'll look at getting merchandise. I think, because like a few of you have asked for merchandise now.
Lovely merch.
And shame on us, we haven't done it yet. But yeah, chance to win a free t-shirt.
Step on it.
And if you don't win this time, we've got a lovely competition coming up a few weeks afterwards, where we've got some nice prizes. We've been kicking around the studio for how many weeks and
For a
months
while.
now. And we need to get rid of
For a
those because
while.
we do need to make some room.
Yes, we do.
But you'll be in the chance of winning that. But you've got to play a game to win those. And
Want
we'll
to
tell
play a
you,
game?
do you want to play a game? We're going to lock you to a radiator with a handcuff.
Oh, God.
No, I'm only joking. And a saw. No.
We'll
right.
take a key out of beaker of acid.
Something like that.
Oh.
Right. So, yeah, that will be an amazing competition. And then don't forget, we've got an amazing music documentary
Yes,
that's up
we
and
have.
coming round about mid-year. Should be round about, I think it's May or June, which coincides with a film festival that it's been entered into, and it'll be available on YouTube for everybody to view.
Yes, so,
Yeah, keep and peel, stick around, stay tuned.
yes.
So, Mrs. Moonstomper,
Oh, Mr. Moonstopper, what do you want?
do you have anything else?
I don't.
Thank God for that. No, just joking, guys, honestly. Right, I've got nothing else as well. So, what have we got coming up next week? You don't know, do you?
Oh, always do that.
Yeah, I always
We've
do as
mentioned
well.
it, but there could be anything.
There could be a slight
be.
change, but whatever it will be, I'm quite sure you'll enjoy it.
I hope you enjoy
And
it.
it'll be relevant as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
nothing
yes.
else?
No.
Good.
Well, except for love you. Mrs. Moonstomper says love you.
Well, there you go. She normally gets the last word in. All right. So, guys, until the next time, you've been amazing as ever. Thank you so much for your support. And like Mrs. Moonstomper says, we love it.
Way up from East End pubs, gigs and backstage parties, ex-boxing champs, West End clubs, Americans in the driving 10 grand cars, in hotel bars, even making money in bed. Oh yeah, they wouldn't be no loss, they ain't worth a toss. Take them all, put them up against the wall and shoot them, show them all, watch them fall. Come on boys, take them all. Tough shit boys, it weren't our fault. Your record didn't make it. We made you dance, you had your chance, but you didn't. Oh well, I gotta go, make another deal, join another group for the company. I don't suppose we'll ever meet again.